I'm back with another video. Back-to-back days with a video because, we in that finals, little weeks of school and, slacking off. Only got a little bit of stuff left, so we got more thought. We got more important things to talk about. And I just want to say, I think if you're on any social media, you should go out of your way to follow everyone. You should follow the absolute extremes of every demographic. I'm telling you, that's what I do. I do it, and you know what? And I'm not going to and this is not to diminish anything that they believe in, but this video is just to basically point out that all beliefs are stemming from the same place. They all stem from the same place. Sorry if it's windy. It's kind of brick out here. But I follow the absolute extreme left wing, non-binary, gender, trans Twitter. And then I follow the absolute right wing, racist, just all of it, just all that. I follow all that. And then I follow absolute, just straight politic people. Like I said, gender, all of that. And the reason why is because you see where the core issue lies. The longer you follow these people, the more you understand how these beliefs get formed. And you just really realize that none of it is really real. And I'm not trying to diminish them, but none of their thoughts are very valid because it all comes from a place. And I'm not saying that their thoughts aren't, I'm saying their thoughts aren't valid, but I'm not saying that mine are. But what I'm saying is I'm saying my thoughts are more valid than theirs because I'm not coming from a place of hate or fear or prejudice. I'm coming from a place of I understand human trend, human behavior, and we need to cut all that shit out before we can move forward. And what happens is a lot of these thought processes, and it strictly starts from the parents, and it's just the truth. The older you get, the more you realize it, right? A more masculine woman doesn't have her dad around, right? Her dad's not around. She becomes more masculine, hardened because of the absence of love. And then a man becomes more feminine when the woman's not around. The male's not around. So he gets more of the motherly love, which makes him more effeminate, right? Then you have the two-parent party household, which then creates a person where, and this is where, let me just finish about so when the masculine woman goes throughout life, she more takes on the ideals of the patriarchy, the male society, because, she's going to try to fit in with the patriarchy because that's what was absence, right? And then a lot of the men are going to not fit in with women, but they're going to be more prone to, just be more, I'm not trying to generalize, but it's really the truth though. Because when a woman doesn't have her dad around, there's two options that can happen for the girl, really. It's either she doomed to repeat the cycle of trying to find a father, right? Which, it generally happens. She tries to find a father, and then, she's bouncing around from poor job to poor job, like a bad job, hoping one of her male counterparts will save her in a sense. Or then you have the opposite where the woman will absolutely be dominant, controlling, and take over because they're trying to control that hurt, right? And they will also see their way up in society. They'll end up with a high paying job, right? Because that's like more of like their male counterparts. Now so think about what that aligns them with. What kind of you can already see what kind of politics, whatever beliefs will be formed out of that hurt, out of having to overcompensate what she didn't have, right? That's what a lot of this is. We're getting a lot of overcompensation for what we didn't have. So same with the male. The male is feminine. He is gonna also, it's like the same thing. It's like a lack of creates this waning. So they're gonna have a lack of, which is gonna create somebody who's also bouncing around job to job, not really knowing what they want to do, which is what that's what we see a lot of which is what's happened, right? We see a lot of males that are struggling with being able to find careers. They're not dominant. They don't really know what to do. That's what we're seeing. Right? That's honestly, I want to say that's the majority of what we're seeing. You know, you probably see it in all the articles all the time. Men aren't, breadwinners anymore, type thing like that. They don't have the top jobs anymore. I mean, they do, but I'm saying like, it's not as it was. And then the opposite for a man who isn't, who doesn't have, is the same like a woman, but his is different. That's the thing. He can become controlling, but I feel like it's more of for love, right? Men don't know how to communicate love. So it's the same thing with a woman, really. And then you have the 2-parent household. And this is where knowledge comes into factor here, which can be very confusing. I'm going to try to hit each bullet point. But 2-parent households create definitely a more well-rounded person. But what ends up happening is there's this thing, what is it? Not the word, I'm losing the word. It's not like valued knowledge, but basically when a person has an opportunity to see knowledge from 2 different point of views, they within themselves have a chance to determine whose knowledge is more valuable. So when a woman only has her mom around, or a man only has his mom around, they only have one person where they can see their knowledge is valuable, right? So they can only go off of. So this is how I'm saying like all conspiracies, politics, everything gets formed, because when you only have one person you can look towards, right? You only have an opposite of, you don't have like a barrier, right? So I'm walking through this mud and shit. What the fuck? So when you have that, like for example, let's say you only have your mom. She doesn't believe in anything. All she does is believes in Democrats and women and equal rights and stuff like that, right? Very basic. Well, you're not going to be able to go far from that, right? You're not going to be able to go far from that because that's within your contained field. And then if you do break free from that, it's just going to be all hell's loose, right? So same thing with the woman, 1-parent household. But with 2-parent household, it's very, very limited. You can't go to the extremes of like crazy conspiracies because you'll never fully be able to believe them, because your basis and your realm of what you're actualized, what you've been seeing within a 2-parent household, success and such like that. So everything that you're going to be basing upon, like your politics, your religion, is going to be based on something that's successful, something seen. But with a parent household, there's no success. I'm not saying there's not success, but it's definitely more fragmented. So you're going to agree with whatever you see, right? So a 2-parent household, your dad's like super right wing, your mom's a little leaning left wing, right? Well, you're going to meet in the middle, and you're going to try to make like the best version of that, right? You're going to make the best version of that. You may see a little bit of something that you don't agree with on both sides, but you're not going to go to the extremes, right? I hope everything I've just made sense. And the reason why I'm bringing it up is because you'll just see like all these extreme people on every side. They're just hurt people. I feel like this glare is like vicious. I'm gonna keep this bitch up. Right? Nah, Gladiator's not vicious. You know, I'm just saying, like, I'm not saying that they're not valid, but you can see where the thought process begins through their tweets. Like, for example, I saw a pretty popular right-wing guy who was just like, man, I was having a grill. I was grilling out with all my homies, my white people, and I realized that, you know, in a couple generations, you know, we're not going to be pure white anymore. He's like, we're going to be Southeast Asian. Now, what the fuck is he talking about? He just snitched on himself. First of all, my mind isn't going to Southeast Asian, right? But what he's saying is the people around here were military people and they got like a Vietnam wife. Something like that is what he's saying, right? So where does that come in through? What does that mean, his beliefs? You can kind of generalize everybody's beliefs off of like just something just like that. Same with these conspiracy and spiritual people. A lot of spiritual people and conspiracy people are very preyed upon because they have a absence of these fathers, mothers. So you have to create something higher than yourself. And I'm not saying that it's not real, but what I'm trying to say is a lot of the lessons and a lot of the thought processes a lot of people are having, they forget. This is the number one thing I want you to understand from this video. And also just to, you know, respect everybody's beliefs and stuff, right? Because at the end of the day, you're not gonna be able to change them. But one thing I just wanted to say was, you're on this path to be human. You know, and I see a lot of people talking about like, oh, chakras and astral realm. All that stuff's not really real. Well, get this. It is real. But is it obtainable in this life? No. Is it for you? No. Is it? I think you can only see it and experience it. And that's why, you know, that's why I hate, you know, spiritualism in a sense and conspiracies and stuff. Because when you experience them, you get a sort of high, right? You get a sort of high like, wow, this shit is real. And I want to experience that all the time. But then what happens is you lose the human part of you, because now you're on this like godly chase of like, oh, I'm a spiritual being, I'm da-da-da-da-da-da. Instead of and then you go through, and then you just become like, oh, this life is meaningless because I seen this. And then that's the whole point of why you're not supposed to see it, because this life you're supposed to be 100% human. You're supposed to live this life, be a human, roll around in it, experience the highs, the lows, the pain, everything that comes with it. That's supposed to be beauty, right? If you go around thinking this is like meaningless and stuff, then you're not gonna live the life, and that's the whole point. You're gonna miss everything. And the reason why I say that is because I said all that in the beginning about who, like, what defines you, because a lot of people don't understand that they need to let that go. They're so busy on what define them. They're so busy on what define them instead of looking to see what aligns with them. It's a bar. That's a bar. I'm out here. You get what I'm saying? They're looking for everything, holding on to what makes them them instead of letting go of what makes them them and realizing, hey, I'm older now. What is true to me? What still applies to, what's applying to me now that I'm updated? But the thing is, they're stuck in this old mindset, not updating, not getting better, not moving forward, that they just stay stagnant. That's why I always bitch about, you know, YouTubers and, you know, all these extremists, because they're focusing on the reason I said all that again is because they focus on a main point of like hurt. What they're selling is hurt. It's fear. It's hurt. Under fear is hurt, anger, sadness. So they're selling this hurt pain. You got to understand, it's all subconscious, right? Like what the real message is of what somebody's saying. And what they're saying is, I'm hurt, and I think all the hurt people who agree with this message need to be like me, and we need to gather together, right? So it's like fear, right? And instead of saying, hey, that doesn't affect me anymore, I need to move forward, I need to change, move past, or whatever you want to say, then find new things that align with them, we would be at a new state. I don't hold on to anything. You gotta let all that go. That's why I said, my messages are different. That's why I'm now on YouTube being negative, preaching conspiracies, because a lot of those people, they're hurt. Same with right wing, left wing. They're hurt. There's no hurt in me. I just have love. You feel me? All love. But not in the love in a sense of like, peace and love, man. Love like, if we need to go to war, so be it. You feel me? That's like Mural from Lupe Fiasco. He said, women reign all over the world. Not like Rain Man, but reign like, he keeps going. He goes, rain like when it's raining. It's a great song. Yeah, I think that's really it. I don't really think there's anything more. But just saying, my messages come from, hey, let's move forward as a collective. Let's preach. Let's wake up. That's all I got. All right, guys. Another 17-minute video for your head tops. All right. Later.